students, in this class we are going to specify the one-dimensional array. What is one-dimensional array? Previous class itself I mentioned what is array. How the array can be differentiated from normal variable. Normal variable means at a time we can able to store only one value of the variable. When we go for array, we can able to store multiple value on the same variable name, and also it belongs to the same data type. It can be specified by fixed size and also allocated the data in the sequential order. Okay, here we can see for one-dimensional array. What is one-dimensional array? The array name followed by single subscript. It can be called as the one-dimensional array. A list of items can be given one variable name using only one subscript. Whenever you can use only one subscript followed by the variable name is that can be called as the one-dimensional array. So, such a variable is called single subscripted variable or one-dimensional array. Array variable are name followed by the single subscript with single square bracket means that can be called as this one-dimensional array. Otherwise, it can be called as the single subscripted variable. How to declare one-dimensional array? You have to declare the normal variable. Normal variable means int c, like that we can specify the array variable followed by the variable name. We can specify the subscript that can be called as the array variable. So here I can specify int number of 5. What is specified? In this array name specified, the name of the array is number. In the number array, I can able to store only 5 elements. The array indices always start with 0, end with the size of the array element -1. So 0 to 4. First element stored in the array 0th index, last element stored by 4th index. And also this number array based on which data type means integer data type. So in this array I can able to store 5 elements. 5 elements in the sequential order starting with the index 0, then index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4. Until index 4 I can able to store. If I want to store 2 elements means it can able to store for 0th index and first index. After that I need to add some more elements means it can be allocated only for the next index, not in the last index. So that only array can be called as the sequenced collection of elements. Sequentially we can able to store the elements. We cannot able to skip in between the empty space is there. For example, the memory space is available for second index. We can able to store only 2 elements 0 and 1. Whenever you need to store third element, it can be possible to store only this index, not for the last index. So array definition itself specified is the sequential array. So first 2 elements occupied means what is the next index, that position only we can able to store the third element. Okay, so these are the memory representation of the array. Array size 5 means the index always starts with 0. So 0 I can able to store the element 10, 1 I can store the element 20, 2 I can store 30, 3 I can store 40. Then number of 4 I can able to store the element 50. This way only the memory space can be allocated for the number of 5 array. Okay, it is the example for integer array. The same way we can able to go for floating array and also the character array. So character array means it can able to store characters, collection of characters only we can able to store. In my example I can select character NA of 10. So here the array name is NA, array data type belongs to character. So the data type itself specify what kind of data I need to store in that array. I mentioned the size 10. So the same thing how we can allocate it for integer array. Array indices start with 0 and also the end with the size of the element -1. The same way we can able to store for the character array also. Here welcome all I can able to store. So here we can able to store one integer value for one memory space. The same way a single character can be allocated for each and every memory space. The character array need to store one character for 1 byte. So here I can able to allocate 10 character in 10 bytes. These are the declaration of the array. In the declaration what we need to specify the data type, array name and also the size. These 3 you must specify. The array size must be specified within the single subscriptor. That is the single square bracket we can able to specify the size of an array. The next go for initialization. What is initialization? In the normal variable we can able to specify int a and also a equal to 5. Here, this second line only called as the initialization. First one called as the declaration. But we can able to convert in these two steps into single step also into A equal to 5. Here I can able to specify declaration along with the initialization. What is initialization? Means we can assign some value for the variable. That can be called as initialization or assignment. Okay, how we can assign the value for the single variable, the same kind we can able to apply for the array variable also. So here I can able to specify int A of 5. 5 means I can able to store 5 elements. Array indices always start with 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This way you can able to make the initialization. It is one way. Another way you can able to specify. Here I can implement this step combining initial declaration and initialization in a single step. Otherwise, we can able to specify declaration alone, and also we can able to specify the individual name itself. You can able to assign the value for the variable. That is also possible. So both are doing the same thing. Here we can able to specify 5 elements with defaultly access from the array indices 0 to until 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 element can be stored. Otherwise we can able to specify each index we can assign some value for the variable. That also possible. But both are called as the initialization. But these kind of initialization can be done by compile time. What is compile time and runtime? Compile time means during the program compilation itself the array value can be assigned, means that can be called as compile time initialization. What is runtime initialization? Runtime initialization means while the program running itself, which condition is true, based on the condition the value can be initialized. That can be called as the runtime initialization. So array can be initialized by two ways, compile time and runtime. So compile time, during the compilation itself the value can be assigned. During runtime the initialization can be done using the program when the program can be running, when which the condition is true, based on the condition the value can be assigned. Here I can specify the example for runtime. For I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. If I less than 0, then the condition is true, means I can initialize the value for sum of I 0. Otherwise the condition is false, I can assign the value 1. So this condition can be possible only as the runtime. What is the value for the I? Based on the value I can able to make the initialization of this sum of I array. So this is the example of runtime initialization. Another one example we can go for single dimensional array, how to write in a program. Here I can able to get only 5 elements in an array. After the 5 elements I can how to get and how to print. That only mentioned in this program. So I need to specify the size of the array, size specify how many elements I need to store. This is the how many size I have to get from the user, so I can declare the variable here. So first print up size of the array. Size of the array can be get by the variable n. If I specify the size of elements, 5 means n equal to 5. Until the n value, the loop will be executed. So after that, I can fix the size of the array. Then I can give the elements of the array. So elements of the array can be done with the help of for loop. So I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Less than n means if I assign the value 5 for the n, so the loop will be executed. First time I equal to first iteration, the value of I equal to 0. So a of 0 equal to what is the value I can given? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 means 1. Then the condition is next I equal to 0, 0 less than or equal to then I 1 incremented by 1. So I value is 1, 1 less than 5, condition true. Again the loop go for getting input from the user. So a of 1 equal to 2. Like that until the condition is true, the element can be get. When the condition is false, when we receive the value of I less than 5. That time only the condition is false. So we can able to get the element until 5 elements, index of 0 to 4. So this is the getting input from the user. After that, what the elements I can receive from the user, the same element I can able to make the print. Whenever you can get the input from the user, that time we can go for loop, the same thing. The array contain multiple elements, so we can able to make the print also. We can able to use the for loop. The same way you can able to print for a first iteration, it will print the value 0. The next iteration 1 until how many elements in the array can access, all the elements can be get printed. Thank you.